This is Hot Mike.
Hot Mike.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, Hot Mike, ready to rock and roll on this Friday morning. See, the sun is out. It is a perfect day for high school football. It's going to be a perfect night. It's going to be hoodie kind of weather. I've been asking for this for 6 weeks, and we finally got it on the first Friday in October. Some great games all over the area, including here on WDAY Extra. We got 3 tonight for the game of the week. The game here on Extra, you'll see at 6:30 tonight with Sartell and Moorhead coming up. That'll be fun. West Fargo and Shanley as well, 7 o'clock tonight, along with Hawley and Pelican Rapids. You can stream all those games as well on WDAY Plus, and we'll have complete coverage on First Down Friday tonight during the news at 10 o'clock. I'll be at the game in Moorhead tonight. It's homecoming. We got the parade today. The Jackman's ready for about a bag worth of candy and maybe a picture with Spuddy. I don't know if our next guest, can you make that happen, Kevin Feeney? You can do a lot of things. Can you get him a picture? He wants a picture with Spuddy tonight.
Well, let's get it done. We can make that happen for sure.
It's great to see you. Congrats on an unreal start. You guys you're scoring like the Houston Oilers used to, the run and shoot, man. What is it about offensively? Why is this click so well in 2024?
You know, that's a great question, but I just kind of keep going back to, we had an amazing summer, and I think it really kind of started to, the pieces to the puzzle really started to come together. And, I knew that last spring in track, we had a lot of speed that coming back, and spent a lot of time this summer though. And we went to a lot of the different 7 stuff. We do a ton of that nowadays. And so, I really felt coming into camp that our wideouts and our running backs really could catch the ball, and we were going to be able to have some explosive plays on O.
Least amount of points you scored in a game, fewest, I should say, is 41. That's all right.
Yeah, we'll take that any week. No doubt about that.
Knowing full well, though, that defenses knew who you had coming back, does that make it even more impressive to you that your guys are still standing out, knowing they're gonna get everybody's attention?
No doubt. You know what? I think the biggest thing though, and we knew we had a couple offensive linemen that we needed to fill some holes from last year, but our biggest challenge we knew coming in was to be able to run the football, right? And so you got to have a presence in the run game, and obviously teams know that we want to throw the football, but essentially to this point, our run game has been very, very solid, and our offensive line has really come together as the weeks have progressed. And by doing that, it forces teams to play in the box. And then once you get enough guys in the box, you can go back to what we kind of want to do, and we can put up points really fast. And I think the biggest thing is we've got a lot of confidence right now. Kids are playing at a high rate, but unfortunately, football is a game of attrition. We've lost some guys to some injuries and stuff like that, which we've given up other opportunities to other kids, and they've really stepped up, and that's what's a lot of fun. But I remember telling my wife at the beginning of the year, I feel like we've got 7 or 8 varsity wideouts on this team, and along with 2 or 3 running backs that really can run and catch the football really well in the pass game also.
David Mack is a kid that maybe we didn't know before the season. Why has he blossomed the way he has so far?
I tell you what, David. First of all, David's been in my house since he's been about a 3rd or 4th grader. Him and Jet hang out all the time. David plays golf with me all the time. He's just a special young man. And obviously, when you grow up with these kids, you get a real soft spot for a lot of them. But there's no doubt David's a big part of the Feeney family. He's been a part of our group for a long time. But tremendous athlete, watches sports all the time. Doesn't matter the sport. The kid is one of the most intelligent football, basketball, baseball kids that you're ever going to be around. And him and Jet have obviously spent a ton of time growing up. There's a lot of these kids in this sophomore class that have spent a lot of time with our football program, but I think David's been on almost on every trip for the last 4 years. Man. And pregame, him and Jet have been chucking that ball around for a long time, and I think everybody's starting to see what David's going to be. And you're going to see the same thing this winter. He's a high-level kid on the basketball court, too.
I want to take your dad hat off and just the football coach on hat. How rare is it for a team in your level to have this much success with a lot of sophomores? Is that more rare than we think, or is it more commonplace now?
No, it's rare. There's no doubt about that. But obviously, like I was saying, we've had a eye on this group for a long
Yeah.
time, and when you've got a son in this group, you see it progress. And it didn't matter the sport. This group is a highly competitive group that really gets along really really well. And anytime you get that with the junior and senior class that we already have, and we have some high level
Yeah.
seniors. I mean, we don't have a ton of seniors on this team, but when the seniors that we have are the right seniors and they know how to play football, and there's some high level kids in there, and when they are as accepting of those young kids and bringing them in and allowing them to flourish and really push our football team, because it's challenging, right? In practice,
Yeah.
these guys come with the mindset that they want to play, and our juniors and seniors have really rallied around them and challenged the sophomores, and that's when things become special, and that's what I think we've seen for these first few weeks of this year.
What has surprised you maybe on this team? You knew you had talent, but what has stood out to you so far?
I think the most exciting piece for us is that when we played at Spring Lake Park, for example, I think we scored 7 or 8 touchdowns, and I know we had at least 6 different guys score touchdowns. And I think that's what's really neat about this group is they have a genuine excitement for each other as others are making plays. And it's when you're saying put the dad hat on, I think the biggest thing that's fun to watch is Jet be able to get the ball to these different guys and just do whatever the defense wants us to do. And each week, as the challenges move forward, everybody's going to have a different plan on how to try to stop us. And our big thing all the time is we feel like we can run the football, and so whatever the defense does is where the football is going to go. And I get this asked all the time, like, oh, how do you get David all these catches or Tay all these plays and all this kind of stuff? But in all reality, when all those guys are out on the field and you can spread, the defense has got to make a decision on who they want to stop.
Yeah.
And it's Jet's job to get the ball to the people that are hopefully going to get open, and because of the double teams on other guys.
All right, I have a nerd stat for you. Jet has 26 touchdown passes this season. In your Bison career, you had 37. He's going to get 37 by what we're talking at the end of the regular season here.
Yeah, that a little bit different style of play from then. I always joke with both my boys. If I got to play in today's world of football, it would have been so much fun. Not saying that I would have had all kinds of stuff, but I tell you what, today's world of football is so much fun in the RPO game and the spread and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I am going to hang on to that with both my boys, saying if I got to play in this, I'd have a lot more.
You had 48 rushing touchdowns, though. You got that. That one's not getting touched. All right.
Okay.
No, your sons aren't coming anywhere close to that one. We know that.
Right.
But
all right. I got something.
I was talking with a couple of college coaches about it, and you and I have visited for defenses now. How impossible is it to make plays? Because the talent is the game is officiated in a way where it's tilted obviously towards the offense, but the talent is so heavy on the offensive side of the ball. It's tough for defenses right now.
It is, but I think the beauty of high school football has really, really evolved as the college football game has evolved, and it's funny how the NFL game is starting to morph a little bit towards the college game, and part of it is because of spread football, right? I mean, you get these. I listened to Kirby Smart talk about the Bama Georgia game last week, and he said, "Okay, so the best running back in the country also throws the football for Alabama. So how do you stop that?" And then they have a 17-year-old wideout that has been tearing. Can you imagine the 17-year-old kid playing high school football last year?
No, man.
I mean, that kind of stuff just blows my mind. But I think the evolution of football has been amazing. Like you're saying, I think defenses, they're put at a tremendous disadvantage. I hear it all the time from our defensive staff. But ultimately, I'm still going to live on this. My dad would pound me if I didn't, and it comes down to blocking and tackling, right? And the teams that tackle well and that run really well to the football, typically the ball is going to come out, and you can force some turnovers. And unfortunately, that's how teams' offenses are going to struggle. And we've got to continue to take care of the football, and hopefully the explosive plays will continue to happen.
This is maybe a Captain Obvious question because I know it's homecoming. There's a lot of excitement for that, but how have you talked at all about guarding look with Alex next week, knowing how much is on the line for that one of, hey, we still have to take care of this, that we cannot look ahead knowing Sartell hasn't won a game and what's lying ahead next week?
Yeah, no doubt. We in today's world of social media, everybody knows what everybody's got going on. So there's no hiding any stats. There's no hiding anything. And we've really challenged our kids last week at St. Cloud Tech that it was going to be a tough environment. The Tech was struggling, but we felt like we were a better football team. But it's on the same token, it's 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, and you never know what you're going to get. And there's crazy things that happen in momentum. And Coach Henches does an amazing job with Sartell. There's a lot of people that don't remember because they look at the last couple of years records of Sartell. We used to battle Sartell in the section
All the
championship
time. Yes.
consistently,
Yes.
right? And
Yep.
so I know what he brings to the table. And defensively, they always have a great plan. Offensively, they rushed the football for 265 yards against Alexandria a couple weeks ago, and you just show the running back a couple plays to our defense, and they understand they're in for a physical game tonight, and no doubt. But big picture, we've got to come out and play really well, because I always try to tell our teams, you don't become a championship football team in a week, but you also can lose championships when you don't come out and play really well and continually get exponentially better each week.
Does it feel like it's already the end of the season? You have 3 games left, Matt. That's counting tonight. Does it felt like it's flown by?
It flows. It's always crazy,
Yeah.
Dom. I say this to my wife. I'm like, when the first day of practice says, "Hon, just get ready. Hopefully, we get to see each other come Thanksgiving." But that's awesome. That's the beauty of it. And I'm biased, right? But I always tell our school administrators, when our football season goes great, isn't it funny how the beginning of the school year goes great, and everything is excitement in school, and the kids, our kids, the pep rally yesterday was amazing. I know that with the night, like you're saying tonight, with little sweatshirt weather, I can't wait to see our student section. I think it's going to be tremendous, and really trying to get all the elementary schools. We've got football players today out at the Phi-Ed PE activities at all the elementary schools.
Nice.
And so trying to jack everybody up.
Well, the Jackman's going to be there. I know he's going to be excited to see Spuddy. He might see a little bit of the game. I can't guarantee on that. I have to ask.
Hey, a lot of tailgating. Spud
I
Alley,
saw
you gotta
that.
get him there early.
I saw that. We're going to check that out. I have not had a chance to talk to you, obviously, with the news on Trey. Can you tell, I guess, for viewers out there, listeners, how, as a dad and taking the coach hat off again, how did you handle that conversation when he told you what he wanted to do?
You know what? Number one, your job as a parent is to support your kids, right? And so, Trey's a very, very high level thinker. It's not something that was a quick, irrational decision. And so, when this stuff was going through his mind, it's my job and my wife's job to, number one, help him kind of navigate through that process. But I think the biggest thing is he wanted a chance to compete, and he wanted multiple years. And so that everybody's kind of asked, well, why the timing? Well, the biggest thing is if he wasn't a full-time student come that Monday, the first day of classes in the fall, that he would be able to retain 2 years of eligibility left. And so, it's certainly a challenging month for him. But, as I was joking with you off air, he's been an amazing part of our staff this fall, and, a little bit personal, but how many times would I ever get the chance to have both boys a part of one football program? And Jet is really, really, seeing how Trey does his business, right? And Trey is training all the time. He's throwing all the time. He's working out all the time. He eats right. He goes to bed. All those things. You can't have a 15-year-old, 16-year-old watch this and get any better replica of what a formula for success is.
You got a little goosebump there. You're talking about having both your sons there. Have you had that? I know you're coach mode, but have you just looked over like, wow, this is really neat?
I have. My wife and my mom have talked about it a lot, and it's super fun. And Trey, on the sidelines, does a great job of really talking through things with Jet. And obviously, Jet and I have a great relationship. But when we have position meetings now every single night at home, on watching film with Trey, Jet, and myself, it really, really makes for some special Friday nights. And the thing is, but the funny part is for years, right? Jet looks up to his big brother and says, "I want to beat everything that Trey did." And Trey is only helping him achieve the success that Trey wants him to have.
That's pretty neat. That's a heck of a quarterback meeting room there. Do you get a word in edgewise or no?
Not a lot. I get a lot of, when I bring up ideas, they both kind of look at me sometimes and say, "Come on." But I still get the final call on, on the play call on Friday. But there's definitely a lot of input coming.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the football game this weekend and your intimate ties to it. Just when you were playing, and I know you can say it now, but how different did it feel when UND came up on the schedule, practice week? What did that feel like?
Well, I think if you've ever listened to Coach Hager, for example, talk, because there's probably no better person to explain what the rivalry meant. And the second the week started, it was a whole different deal. And you know what? I still have the opportunity to talk to Coach Hager, and we talk about certain games, but obviously the North Dakota game is a special one, and the Fargo Dome was amazing, right? It's going to be crazy loud on Saturday, and both teams play indoors, and both teams deal with noise, but it is a little bit different. And I listened to you talk about the North Dakota guys that are on both rosters,
Yeah.
and it's special, right? I mean, and there's no doubt the way the game played out last year, that there's going to be a little bit more. I think some people earlier on were like, is the rivalry back? All that kind of stuff. And anytime a game becomes that sided score, there's going to be a
Yeah.
little bit more juice in that Fargo Dome come Saturday.
When you end up playing them in the playoffs, though, that took it to another level, right? When you played them
Oh,
once in
no
the regular
doubt.
season, then when you went up there, I know we have talked about that. That's where it's. And if that ever happens in the Division I level, then I think it really is back. Like we've seen it with the Jackrabbits. If it ever happens with UND, then look out.
No doubt, and that is still probably one of my most favorite games
Yeah.
of all time. You know, we went and did not play well there the first time, and then we get an opportunity to go back and fell behind 10-0, and then rattle off 41 straight points. And Reggie Scott had a big night. We just it was super fun, and that type of atmosphere was amazing. And like I said, I think it's just great for our region, right? It's great for all these kids to go out and see that North Dakota football can be really, really special. And that doesn't just mean kids from in-state, because it doesn't take long. I don't care where you're from. When you walk in the Fargo Dome, and pregame warmups are going to be a little bit different this time, and it won't be long to get those goosebumps rolling.
To see two of your former guys now starting, Jack Tyken starting, Seth Anderson starting. Seth was named Valley Offensive Lineman of the Week. Got to mean you got to be pumped about that.
Super pumped. And, Austin Altapeter's had a good
Yeah.
start to his season
Yep.
too. And just, Austin's behind some really, really good players, but I tell you what, and we've talked about it for years, Dom, that he can play ball. And whenever his opportunity comes, there's no doubt in my mind that he'll be able to play at a high level and be successful. Austin Schultz, another offensive lineman that we got at North Dakota
Yep.
State, unfortunately had a shoulder injury, and so he's taking a medical this year. But it's super special to have guys on both ends.
To see Seth, he's done both of this. Obviously started at NDSU, and now he's coming to his own and be a third-year starter at UND, especially how his high school career ended. And I was there that night when he broke his leg. This is a heck of a turn for him.
It is, and Matt Anderson's on our staff. It's salt of the earth guy, and the beauty, we talk about it all the time. If you just want to get the epitome of what a football player is, just find out what Seth Anderson does.
Yep.
Because Seth Anderson plays the game the right way, plays to the whistle, plays it with an insane physicality on that offensive line, and he's a special guy for all of us here in Moorhead.
Most important question I say for last. Uniform combo tonight is what? What do we got?
We're going orange on orange, baby.
There we go. All right. Fantastic. Have you done that?
We haven't done it this year yet.
Okay.
And that's
There
why
we
we
are.
were saving it for homecoming, man.
Now, see, I got to get an orange Spud helmet. Can you make that happen? We got everything back here. I need that now.
Hey, I can get you hooked
All
up
right.
back there.
Thanks so much for the time, bud. Good luck, and I'll see you later tonight, okay?
Sounds good. Let's get that Spuddy picture taken.
I'll make sure of that. Thanks, Kev. Kevin Feeney
All right,
joining
thanks,
us. Moorhead Spuds head football coach. Spuds and Sartell coming up tonight, 6:30. You can see it live right here on WDAY Extra. They're rolling. I mean, I mentioned it earlier off the top of the interview of what they have done offensively. 55, 41, 57, 50, 55. That's what they've done in their 5 games. Most amount of points they've allowed is 28. That was to Bemidji. They did that 3 weeks ago. And the biggie is next week. Alexandria, they go to Alec. They're 5-0. They're rolling. They've got a guy, Chase Thompson, on their team who just committed to play basketball at Clemson. He's all of 6'8", I want to say. You may know his older brother, Trayton, who went to the University of Minnesota. That will be the game. We'll probably feature that one next week on the show to preview, because that's going to be a heck of a football game as well. But looking forward to what should be a great football night tonight over in Moore, and, of course, all over the area. Big ones in Fargo, across the state. Looking forward to that. We'll take a break. We'll get caught up in a couple of emails here. We got some NFL picks coming as well to wrap the show on a, can we call it Victory Friday? We can call it Victory Friday. Hot Mike returns. We're back after this.